So let's say you found a skeleton. How would you tell if it's a ducky? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
All right, welcome to yet another Kent with Ben 14, the Lennoxville horror. I see we've got some Christopher Hoogan in chat, TD Lane, Robert Adsit, Aged Desert Rat. Hello to everyone. Looks like we got 12 people. Some of you must be lurking, but that's okay. Bent, what are we drinking tonight?
Oh, tonight we are drinking in this unmarked mug.
It's very nice.
I like to call nighttime coffee.
Nighttime coffee. All right.
Just normal coffee, but past 12 noon, basically. On this other, also unmarked mug is a slightly different color scheme. Buy it and drink coffee out of it.
Yeah, that's a link.
Drink tea or water, whatever you want to drink.
You can drink
wine. Whatever you want out of this.
Drink wine, coffee. If it's a liquid or a granular solid, you can probably put it in that mug. I make no guarantees for liquid hydrogen, though. That'll probably leak out.
I'm just going to drink coffee out of mine.
Okay. Monk Mayfair, welcome. So yeah, I'm drinking a dark and stormy with the cheapest rum imaginable, but that's okay. Because you know what? Chat, last live stream with Erica and Chesh, they paid for my rum. Can you believe that? This is nice of you guys. I really appreciate that. But we are here with possibly the last episode of this Dinosaurs and the Bible Seminar 3 with Kent, because we only have like a half hour left. We've gone through an hour and a half of this craziness. Can you believe that?
And we skipped a round too. Not a round, but
a little bit. Yeah, we skipped some of the more preachy parts where it's like, oh, God said this about Job. And it's like, I don't care. Oh, Maya's got wine and evening. All right. Let's go.
He shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. In Pensacola, where I live, 4 or 5 teenagers went scuba diving back in 1962. One survived.
That's lines on paper. I know this one.
It is. It's not science at all.
Here's what he said. They were going out to this sunken ship in the Pensacola harbor called the Massachusetts. And here's what he said. I've got tons of stuff.
Wait, the Massachusetts should be in the Massachusetts harbor, not the Florida harbor. Whatever.
He said, we were in an Air Force rescue raft bound for a sunken ship a few miles off the coast. Midway out, we were caught in a storm and dragged out to sea. When the storm cleared, we were in a dense fog. We began to hear strange noises like the splashing of a porpoise and a sickening odor like dead fish.
Sounds like a porpoise, but what do I know?
The noise got closer to the raft, and I heard a loud hissing sound. Out in the fog, we saw what looked like a long pole about 10 feet high sticking up out of the water. On top was a bulb-like structure. It bent in the middle and went under. It appeared several more times, getting closer to the raft.
You were in the middle of the sea monster?
In the middle.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's got bent in the middle, guys.
I don't remember, but yeah.
Well, congrats.
The silence was broken once again by something out of the fog. I can only describe it as a high-pitched whine. We panicked. All 5 of us put on our fins and went into the water. Keep together and try for the ship, I yelled. After we got in the water, we got split up in the fog, and from behind I could hear the screams of my comrades, one by one. I got a closer look at the thing just before my last friend went under. The neck was about 12 feet long, brownish green and smooth looking.
I gotta be honest, this whole story kind of sounds like the crazy story you make up to cover up the fact that you murdered your friends and you don't want anyone to know about it. Like, really? That's kind of what this sounds like.
That's why Kent got into this whole thing.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything in particular. I'm just saying.
I won't go on record of... Kent's probably not murdered anyone.
Well, this isn't Kent's story.
Okay. Well,
so even if this is a murder cover story, it's not Kent's.
I'm willing to bet money that Kent has not murdered anyone.
Okay, well, you already have a bet with me for a pizza, and I don't know.
It's true.
You've only got like, what was it, 4 or 5 days left? Something like that?
I might lose the bet.
Yeah, I think you might. But, well. In case anyone doesn't know, my bet is that by the time the time runs out for Kyle Curtis to show Steve McRae the books, Kyle won't even have turned over the channel. And if
I, for some reason, bet that he will turn over the channel
right.
in that 14-day period. Because when has Kyle proven not to be trustworthy, right? I don't know what I was thinking.
I would actually rather lose that bet, but I figured since I don't think I will, I might as well actually make it.
The head was like a sea turtle, except more elongated. The eyes were green with oval pupils. I don't know how long it was before I heard a scream. It lasted maybe half a minute. Then I heard Warren's call, "Hey, help me, it's got Brad. I've got to get out of here."
Not
His
Brad.
voice was cut off abruptly by a short cry. "Brad, Warren, hey, where is everybody?" I yelled back at the top of my lungs. Larry now swam with Eric and me. Warren and Brad were nowhere in sight. Right next to Eric, that telephone pole-like figure broke water. I could see the long neck and 2 small eyes. The mouth opened and it bent over. It dove on top of Eric, dragging him under.
This actually sounds like a fairly decent, like, short story plot or something. Like, I would read this as a book, which apparently it's part of a book, Mysteries of the Deep. But
I wouldn't read it.
No? That doesn't sound like a good story?
No.
I think you could turn it into a good story.
It sounds like if Kent made up a story, it'd be like the best story he ever made up. Which is not that good.
Okay. I think it could be turned into a decent story, but okay.
I screamed and began to swim past the ship. My insides were shaking uncontrollably. He drew a sketch of the thing that killed his friends. He said, "I finally made it to the top of the..."
Oh, I do want to point out one thing. Christopher Hugan says, I don't think he really wants to go to jail, and I'm assuming he means Kyle. I think that ship has sailed. I think he's going to jail again. I don't think there's really much way he can avoid it at this point. Maybe if he'd actually turned over the channel within the first few days after the judgment, but at this point, no.
The problem is that if he hasn't turned over the books yet, it's still speculation, but there's gotta be major embezzlement or whatever the actual charge would be. He's got to have blown all that money, and he's gonna get in a lot of trouble for that. That's speculation, but why else would he not? I don't know. I don't need to speculate why Kyle does the things that he does.
I know why he eats Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I know that. That's one thing I know, because it's delicious.
Because it's good?
Yeah, it's delicious. I'm with Kyle on the topic of cereal flavors and almost nothing else that I know of.
Okay.
I guess I'm also with him on the idea that don't kill gay people.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, so Kyle Curtis and I can come together on a few things. Not many, but a few things.
Ship and stayed there most of the night. Next morning, I swam to shore, was found by the rescue unit. That's the sketch Brian McCleary drew of what he saw.
I know, you already showed it to us.
I was speaking in Fort Walton Beach, Florida one time, and Valerie Bill came to me and said, "Mr. Hovind, my stepson, Larry Bill, was one of the kids who was eaten."
It says Val, like Valentina. I'm just going to assume her real name is Valentina, and that Bill is short for Bill Kerman. She's actually Bill Kerman's wife. That's the headcanon for now.
Okay, I like it.
That story you are telling is correct. But the Pensacola News Journal said,
well,
after they interviewed him...
correct, but then they said it is.
Right, some lady, she said, yep, that's what happened.
They said, "This is a beach town. You know, people come here to go swimming. We're not going to report that your friends got eaten by a dinosaur. We're going to report that they drowned." So that's what the newspaper said. 4 teenagers drowned. Panama City, there's something seen there similar. Youth director at a Lutheran church told me his whole youth group was in the van and they saw a creature like that in Panama City Harbor.
Has anyone ever seen an oarfish? Ben, do you know what an oarfish is?
No.
Well,
there's a lot I don't know. That's one of them.
I'm going to pull up a quick little movie of an oarfish, because this is a real animal that really exists, and I think we should see some footage of it. So here we go. This isn't... I'm going to put it on, like, fast speed, though. Playback speed. 1.75. Well, no. 1.25. That is an oarfish. It's very long.
That's what she said.
Yes, but... Look at that.
You think that's what they saw?
I mean, does that not seem like a more reasonable interpretation of what they saw?
You think that could kill 4 teenagers?
No, I'm saying these people on the boat that we're talking about now, that saw some long snake-like thing in the water.
Oh, yeah, because that's something else. That's a different story.
Right. It's like... and you didn't know what an oarfish was, and there's really no reason for you to, because it's a fairly unusual animal. I mean, you don't see them all the time. See if we can find a nice picture of an oarfish. Is it 1 word or 2 words? I don't even know. But yeah, let's Google image search some stuff. Look at this craziness. It looks like a sea monster.
Lines on paper. It is a sea monster.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, how do you define a monster? That looks like a monster to me.
Yeah, basically. I mean, look at this. Look at this craziness. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say that if you see some weird snaky thing in the water, oarfish is a better explanation than plesiosaur, because it's a known animal. But it's an animal that's unusual and not known to many people.
I'm sure, well, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming there are many fish that look kind of like that, many species of fish.
I mean, there are a lot of sort of, you might call it like eel-like fish. Anguilliform, if you will.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, for you smart people.
Anguillus is just Latin for eel.
If you say so.
Yeah. Oh, and remember the story about Julius Caesar feeding some dude to his eels?
I don't remember that story.
No, it's a good story. It's a quick one, though. So Julius Caesar is visiting this guy at his latifundia, which is a big barn that's primarily run by slaves. And the guy has a pool full of freshwater eel, so you can always have fresh eel, because I don't know if you know this, but freshwater eel is delicious.
Yeah, I had some last night.
Yeah.
Very good.
But anyway, at one point, one of his slaves was too slow in, like, serving the drinks or something, so he had him thrown into the pool of eels so the eels could eat him. Julius Caesar decided that this was an unacceptably cruel punishment for a slave, so he had that guy thrown in the same eel pool.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's fair, I think, though. Throw your slave in the eel pool? Well, you get thrown in the eel pool, because, no, you don't get to do that. Not on Julius Caesar's watch, man. How true that story is, I don't know.
There have been many reports of dinosaurs still living. There could be some pterodactyls still alive. The natives call the animal the Congomato. If you're in Congo, in Kenya, they call it Batamzinga. Steve Romani was...
Do they have any bodies? It's the same thing for every single one of these cryptozoology things. It's like, produce a holotype. Until then, there's no reason to take it seriously.
Ramandi was on the Kenya Olympic running team. He called me and said, he was going to school in Louisiana. He said, Mr. Hovind, I saw those creatures. He said, we've got them in my village in Kenya. He said, their favorite food is decaying human flesh. They dig up graves and eat the body.
I mean, it's in Kenya, but where in Kenya?
Oh, in the northern part.
Oh, the northern part.
The northern part is always the best part of anything.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Except Canada. Northern part is the worst part of Canada. You know that's true. There's a reason.
You say so.
There's a reason that 90% or so of the population of Canada lives within 10 miles of the southern border.
For now, but once global warming takes over, that northern land's going to be really, really expensive.
Maybe. Oh, and I'm glad that Luca loved the story about Caesar. I'm not positive exactly how historical it is, but it is recorded in a few historical sources.
They kept talking about the Congomato. Well, we could cover dinosaurs still living for hours, but there have been lots of reports of pterodactyls.
I love how Kent is going on about how he's an expert in all these things, and he uses the word pterodactyl. They're pterosaurs. Pterodactylus is a genus, a fairly small genus of pterodactyloid pterosaur, but pterodactyl isn't a technical term for anything. And the thing is, if you're just like some dude who just kind of likes prehistoric things and you use the word, then that's fine. It's a common name, I get it. But this guy is purporting to be a creation scientist.
I mean, I've seen Jurassic Park. I've seen The Land Before Time. They're called pterodactyls, right? What do I know?
Those ones were pteranodons, though.
I don't even remember. It's been a long time. Maybe on a Seabed show we can do those movies.
I really only want to watch the Jurassic Park and maybe Jurassic World. And really, the only reason I like Jurassic World is because it explored new territory. Because they were like, oh, the park is open.
I haven't seen it.
It's actually decent, I think, but other people disagree.
Till now.
Fair.
I get calls about this from people all the time, about
it.
pterodactyls being seen in Papua New Guinea or in Indonesia.
Was he going to talk about the roping? Also, I just want to point out that he just said that in Kenya, they dig up human graves. I don't know if... I mean, look at a pterosaur skeleton sometime and tell me which part of its anatomy it's going to dig up a grave with. Because none of it is very good at shoveling out dirt. It's just... Just no.
Or in Venezuela.
Venezuela?
Good time to cover all that about all these pterodactyls.
I went on vacation to Venezuela. Venezuela? Maybe, Kent?
Nope,
No.
not there.
No.
I could get why you'd think that, but no, Venezuela.
Venezuela. All right. We now know the proper way to pronounce things like water, matter, and Venezuela.
So Dave Wetzel went there and said, man, the natives kept talking about this flying ropin.
It is a rope.
That glows in the
Yay!
dark.
Okay, so here's the thing. No tetrapod that has ever been discovered has glowed in the dark. So not only would it be an absolutely extraordinary thing to find a pterosaur living in, what was it, Papua New Guinea? Yeah. But one that glows in the dark? That would be a first on multiple levels. So I hope you find one. I also want to point out, I've actually looked into the Ropin story, and the actual descriptions involve something that doesn't have legs and has a long snake-like tail and is, like, ridiculously large. So it doesn't actually sound like any real pterosaur, but hey.
Over in Papua New Guinea. It lives on the island right there.
That's a picture of one. That's a Ropin. That guy.
So, what's the point? You say, Brother Hovind, who cares? Yeah, I think there might be some dinosaurs still alive.
But the question still is, who cares?
And I think we have really been lied to about the dinosaurs.
I agree, Kent.
Yeah, you're the one who's lying.
Now, I don't think there's many, and it's probably safe to go to the dorm, okay? Don't get excited and think, wow, we're going to get eaten by a dinosaur. No, it's not that way. The hallway will be clear tonight, I assure you, okay?
I just remembered something. I'm currently in contact with a woman who went to the church where Kent gave one of these speeches. I'm pretty sure she did. Because she was a Ukrainian immigrant, and apparently she lived on the West Coast, and I know one of the churches that Kent gave one of these speeches in was a Russian language Slavic community of Baptists. And she went to a Russian language Baptist church. So I'm going to see if I can't find out if that's actually the church she went to. Because currently we're talking about her coming on for leaving Young Earth Creationism. So.
Nice. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Also, remember, a week from yesterday, so next Thursday, my brother should be on for leaving Young Earth Creationism at 1 p.m. Eastern.
But the Indians had a legend called the Thunderbird. They said a giant bird got hit by lightning. When they found it 3 days later, the buzzards had picked the bones clean, but they said the wingspan was 20 feet.
So was it a bird or was it a pterosaur? Because they're very different. The only thing they have in common is basically they're avametatarsallian archosaurs and they fly.
And had a bony bump on the back of its head.
What does that mean?
The Indian prayer sticks, to this day, have the head of a pterodactyl on them.
Oh, hold on. We gotta move you. You're in the way of the. Is that the head of a pterodactyl? What?
That's a cane, but it's broken. It's not a good one because it's too curvy.
Look, I'll say this. If there were more evidence to think there were pterosaurs in modern North America, then maybe I would say, yeah, it's reasonable to interpret that as the head of a pterosaur. But it's pretty vague, so it's not evidence in and of itself. Sorry, I had to move your face.
I don't care.
Now, Henry Ford put an
Barely
eagle on the
hurt.
taillight of his Thunderbird. It should have been a pterodactyl. You blew it, Henry.
I mean, it's called a thunderbird. Do you have Native American art that unambiguously portrays it as not a bird? Because if you did, you would show us, so obviously, no, you don't.
French explorers Jacques Marquette and Joliet stopped near what now is the town of St. Louis.
Joliet? Joliet. Louis Joliet. Jacques Marquette et Louis Joliet.
Why would Kent know correct French pronunciation?
I don't know, but he got Jacques right. Why not just call him Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet.
Marquette, Louis Joliet.
And reported they saw a big ugly bird painted on the cliff on the other side in Alton, Illinois. The Indians said, oh, that's a Piasaw bird. A great chief killed him years ago. They painted the picture up there for years. They finally put a big metal plaque. There's me down below it.
It looks like it has feathers, Kent. It looks like a bird, but with a human face. It actually looks like medieval European art. I do not think that this was done by natives, actually. Because that looks like something out of a medieval bestiary and not anything I've ever seen in authentic Native American art, but sure, whatever.
Scale. They took it down for fear the plaque would fall. I guess they just recently put it back up. I don't know. But you go to Alton, Illinois, you'll see Piasaw, Piasaw Dairy Queen. It's pretty famous over there, whatever the Piasaw bird was. Okay. And we talk a lot about that. People say, Brother Hovind, why do you speak about dinosaurs? Well, for one thing, Satan's using them to teach his gospel. It's time Christians put up a defense. Christians are confused where they fit in.
That's how Satan gets you, dinosaurs.
Yep, I'm a Satanist. Hail Satan. I'm going to go sacrifice some...
Shouldn't joke about that.
I'm going to go sacrifice some baby dinosaurs later when I go make an omelet. But I'm going to do it in the name of Satan.
Tasty.
I'm going to do it in the name of Satan. I'm going to put some cheese on it, but it's satanic cheddar cheese because it's extra sharp, like Satan's horns. That's the connection there.
You should use American cheese if you really want it to be satanic, because that's from the devil.
Okay. Well, I got the wrong kind of cheese, but I did get a whole bunch of serrano peppers, so it's going to be super spicy, just like hell.
It's a common misconception. Hell isn't hot, like temperature-wise. It's just very spicy.
Right. They basically just bathe you in pepper juice, so all of your sensitive bits are on fire. Also, you get little paper cuts.
Oh, man, that sounds horrible.
I know, it's hell. What do you expect?
Stick tool.
Good point.
Kids will gather around you like crazy when you get dinosaurs. He's the chief of the ways of God. Well, then God ought to get the glory. Now, the Bible also talks about Leviathan, but that's a whole other story. We'll cover Leviathan some other time.
That's a whole other story, except that now, some 20 years later, Kent is like, oh, Leviathan is totally T-Rex for reasons.
I've heard of T-Rex. I've heard of Leviathan.
What if they're the same thing?
So basically, God made everything in 6 days. Dinosaurs lived with man. People have killed most of them. There could be a few still alive. And Christians need to quit worrying about dinosaurs and start using them for God's glory.
Hold on. I've met a lot of Christians in my life. I've never known a single one to be worried about dinosaurs. So what on earth is he talking about?
That's not the thing that Christians talk about all the time after church. They're like, oh, yeah, but what about the dinosaurs, man?
I don't want them to eat. Kent Hovind said they're still alive. They ate those 4 teenagers.
Maybe you're just meeting other. Were they fundamentalist chicken-eating Baptists?
No.
Oh, see, there you go. That's the problem. You weren't meeting enough chicken-eating Baptists. Which, by the way, everyone should eat chicken, because chicken is delicious.
It's really good.
Like, go get some fried chicken. Just go do it. Interviews with people who claim...
This is Kent Hovind. It is August 31st, 1993.
Are you sure? Because it looks like 1983, but okay.
I'm sitting here at the Antique Quest in Winchester, New Hampshire, with Sandy Mancy. It's good to see you again, Sandy.
New Hampshire, that's a place I've been to.
I saw you back in '92, and Sandy is the one that saw Champ. Her picture appears on the cover of the book by Joseph Zarzinski. This took place. Why don't you tell us when it was and where you were and just a little bit about it?
Why did they hire a blind cameraman?
And why didn't they mic anyone? This sounds like they're using camera mic.
Why did they put the microphone right by the air conditioner?
Oh man, everything about this is terrible.
Vermont, on the Vermont side, and my husband, we weren't married at the time, my fiance and my children, we were exploring the lake. I grew up in that area. And we were just exploring the lake, sitting there, enjoying the peace and quiet. And my husband had gone back to the car to get the camera, and while he was gone, there was a disturbance in the lake.
Okay, another thing. Set your exposure levels, because the entire back part of her head is just washed out, and it could be okay-ish rim lighting. And I know you're using video, so you don't get to have the nice filmic level of lighting where it's hard to actually wash things out. My goodness. Everything about this is like grade F filmmaking. And I hate it.
Yeah.
I looked out and I thought perhaps there was a school of fish, and maybe a scuba diver or something, and then The head and the neck broke the surface of the water, and the head picked up in the neck and the back. And I knew it wasn't a fish.
Right.
Oh, that's
Well, great.
funny.
And some people said I heard somebody told you that they thought maybe it was a duck.
If it's about a 2,000-pound duck.
2,000-pound duck. When we were at the church, when you came to hear me speak up in wherever that was, New Hampshire, Dublin, New Hampshire, I had all my dinosaurs on the
Monk Mayfair, yeah, you do hear kids in the background going, wee, wee. You can, if you look really closely, you can see they're playing outside that window. They didn't even bother to clear the area so that the kids weren't in the shot. It's really badly done.
table, and you immediately picked out this one as champ, but you said it was a little different, what you saw.
Yes, what I saw is the neck was not near as long, and the head is shaped right, like a horse head, but the neck is not near as long.
Okay, now there are 3 or 4
I
different
don't
types.
think the head looks like a horse head on that little model there.
Well, okay, let's look at a a plesiosaur head. Let's check that out. So let's see if it looks anything like a horse. All right. Oh, I mean, that's obviously I don't see how you can't say that that's a horse.
If that's not a horse, I don't know what is.
Right.
The teeth match perfectly. The nose, the
everything.
eyes,
It's
the tongue,
all just absolutely.
the water in the background.
Well.
Are you sure that's not actually a horse?
I'm not sure. What about this? This is actually the same thing with different,
I just
the
see
mouth. 3
horses.
Right. It's the exact same thing. So yeah, this is obviously a plesiosaur. I mean, let's see if I can't find an even more horse-like head. Let's see. Well, how about this guy? Look at that.
There's another horse.
It's another horse. Everything is. I mean, if you don't see a horse there, I don't know. You're probably just not a Christian.
They can't even spell horse correctly on their web page.
I know, they keep saying, plesiosaur. Alright, so now that we know what horse heads look like.
It's swimming dinosaurs
You
that
learned something
bones have
today.
been found of. There's the chronosaur, which has a huge neck, the plesiosaur, which you're holding, and then there's the elasmosaur. Had a shorter neck, and the head is at a right angle to the body instead of in line with the body.
Really, Elasmosaurus had a head that pointed 90 degrees down, so it just pointed straight down at the bottom of the ocean.
Or sideways. I can't really see in the picture. It's
Well,
too
I'm
blurry.
gonna check out some Elasmosaurus images and see if we can find any skeletal reconstructions. Oh, well, okay, so hold on. I mean, here's a skeletal reconstruction of it
Yes.
bending its neck that way. I
Nope,
mean,
there's no bend. That's actual.
that's how it actually is. Well,
That's straight. It's just like that.
okay, but what about this one?
That one is bent so that it looks like it's not 90 degrees.
Okay, so you're saying the foramen magnum is actually on the ventral surface of this skull, is what you're
What
telling
I'm
me.
saying is they bent it 90 degrees to make it look like it's not bent.
Oh, so they broke its neck just to
Yes.
fool you with evolution.
Yeah, go back to the other picture, and that's what it actually looks like.
Okay, so this is the real one. It just
Yeah.
permanently had a kink in its neck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and this is the evil evolutionists.
Yeah, and that's called Elasmosaurus.
Yes.
Wait, no, it's called Brantworks. Because I
Okay.
know that from memory, not from reading on the URL.
So there we go. Kent is right yet again. I love live fact-checking Kent in a way that wasn't possible in 1993 when he did this.
Is that a can of Coca-Cola in the background?
No, because that would be product placement, and I don't want Coca-Cola to sue me. Please don't sue me, Coca-Cola. Also, Scientology.
Sorry.
There may be others, of course, undiscovered yet, but get that where they can see it on the camera.
I think this more. But
Shorter
maybe
neck.
See anything with
shorter
a
neck.
and
Or it could be
head or neck there.
the neck wasn't all out of the water, too.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so this was back in 1977. How many other people do you know, or have you talked to that claim they
Is there
have
like
seen
a-
it also?
A diesel engine bus
I
right
was
outside the
told
window?
Probably about 6
There might be, yeah.
people.
But there's horrible, no good, disgusting news.
What?
I took a sip of my drink and it was just water.
Oh, gross.
I know. So, I might have to get a new drink soon.
Have seen it. And all of our accounts are
It's a new Coke.
Coke was pretty new in 1893 when they made this.
Be telling something that maybe we didn't see. But they're all very, very similar. The shape of the head, the neck, just the massive size of it.
Okay, now you watched it for about how long, would you say?
Probably from the time the disturbance until it went back down, maybe.
The phone is off the hook in the other room.
It's so that it doesn't ring and interrupt the interview, but why not just unplug it?
Exactly. Oh my god.
For those of you who don't know, phones used to have phone cords that would plug in. They weren't like these, you know. You guys know.
I don't know. There might be some like 19-year-olds in here who've never had a landline.
That sound that you're hearing is when you leave the phone off the hook for a long time.
Which means
it will remind you.
And off the hook,
hey,
we mean you take it off the box it used to sit in. That's called a receiver. If you just leave it, no one can call you. But then eventually, it'll just make that sound to alert you.
Yeah. Or you could just unplug the little cable from it, and then you won't get any calls.
Right, and that's what powered the phone, so it also won't make that horrible sound.
8 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes.
And they're just going to leave it.
And you told me the last time we talked
my
about
God.
it, that when it first came up, it was
and it's really loud.
looking different directions. It was looking around.
Like,
When it came up,
you're barely hearing it, but when you buy a phone and it's like that, it's very loud. It's
and then it looked around.
Wait,
and
she's Dr.
when I
Kent Hovind?
did take the one snapshot. It was
You thought it was the man the whole time, you sexist.
A little
I was
more
way off.
movement to it, and it had turned its head to look over its back, and that's when I got the snapshot. And then it turned.
Oh, it turned its head to look over its back, a thing that, plesiosaurs couldn't do. Okay, sure.
And then it went down, and it started going down like this.
Hey,
and then it put its
Fred,
head
can
down
you hang
in
up the
water.
phone, please?
After it was completely in the water, I heard a boat coming.
So he listened to you. He listened to you. He did
didn't
it.
even see the boat, but I heard it coming. It knew that boat was coming long before my sense of hearing picked it up.
A lot of people that I've interviewed have told me that, like the ones in Africa, the dinosaurs in Africa, the natives claim they have very sensitive hearing, and they'll hear you coming and duck under the water.
Mm-hmm.
I've got missionary friends over there that say there are dinosaurs in that swamp.
Absolutely. I'm
Absolutely, I've seen them. I've been there. How do you know, lady?
sure of it. God created
Her name is
one.
Dr. Kent
He
Hovind.
created many.
Sure.
And this is something that has to be of creation. It's not something that could have come from the eel or any of that nonsense. And if God can create one, he can create many.
Sure, right. Now, your picture has, as well as being on the cover of Joseph's book, has been in a number of places. It was in Time magazine, it was July '81, I think. You were on Unsolved Mysteries, did you say this last week? Or?
Was that the show where Jonathan Frakes asks you all sorts of crazy questions?
No, that's fact or fiction, I think.
Oh, darn. I want Jonathan Frakes to ask me crazy questions.
That was a great show, even though it wasn't great, but he was great.
He's Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest.
Unsolved Mysteries has shown 3 times. It first was in September of last year, and then
Maybe
it was
September of
on-
'92.
Right.
Okay.
And then recently, about a week or so ago, they had a rerun of it.
Oh, okay. So you're a movie star now.
No.
Well, there are those who teach that evolution is a proven fact, that dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. I, as you know, am very different. I was a science teacher 15 years. I'm of the strong...
It's alright, just leave it in. We need to cut or anything.
There's a helicopter outside landing on the bus. That's cool.
Leave it in. Whatever, it's not like there
Press
might...
really wanted to try to capture part of this interview.
Oh my goodness.
studied opinion that a few dinosaurs are even still alive. The world isn't millions of years old. Would you say that what you saw was best described as being a dinosaur of some kind? Water-dwelling?
I saw a dinosaur.
You felt like you were seeing a dinosaur, right?
I know. Not felt, I know.
You know, okay.
Oh, she knows.
Now, the question...
Yeah, well, I mean, some lady in 1993 said it. I guess she said it in the 80s, too, so that proves it.
I had
Didn't come to
dinosaur
some
for
people's mind.
breakfast today.
Meat. I had eggs, so yeah, I guess kinda.
Why did you only take one picture?
Because I didn't want to miss anything.
Busy watching it.
I was busy watching. I brought the camera up, I took the one photograph, and then I put it down because I didn't want to miss anything. I was in such total awe
Right.
of what was happening. And I don't even know why I took the one. It was just instinct. My husband handed me the camera.
I wonder if her granddaughter has died of old age yet.
Oh, her granddaughter probably at least has grandkids.
Camera taken to the children.
Okay, before it surfaced.
Right, he didn't even know anything was going on until he got back there.
Sure.
And he helped me up the banking, and he handed me the camera so to help me up the banking. And I had it, my knees gave out, I was shaking. And I went down on my knees, I picked the camera up, I took the one photograph, and then put it down. I had it both down.
You could have taken 20 pictures.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Oh, if only she could have actually found some better evidence. But she was too scared.
I wanted to watch it, and I was, and your mind tries to rationalize. And I'm trying to think, well, what is this? And there comes a point when you cannot rationalize, you just stand there and off.
Yep. Well, great. Anything else, any other typical questions you get asked? Or most of the people that interview you are those who believe in evolution.
Yes.
I really want like a marching band to walk by playing full-on music. That would be so funny to me.
Some big band music, and the cymbal player just decides to go right up to her window and just
I want to hear like the
cymbals.
tuba and the trombone. That would be awesome.
You don't like that? I agree with you 100%. And I appreciate you letting me use your picture. I put it on one of my posters.
Wonderful.
And I have quite a few pictures from different people. And my motive is to strengthen people's faith in the Bible. The Bible is the Word of God. And there's Sandy's picture. You've been featured in a number of shows and magazines and things like that. You're just...
Oh, hey, it's almost
in
legible.
Winchester.
Oh, that does look like it might be a Coke can.
20 years.
20 years. So you had no intention of trying to become a celebrity by photographing Jan.
No, as a matter of fact, I really didn't even want to publish. I kept it a secret for 2 years.
And why did you publish?
In the scientific world.
Because the scientists were using it for evolution.
Tapper Dino didn't want to make this a mug.
Is that... Yeah, I didn't. I barely even made it.
Barely.
Yeah.
I was forced by the media to publish because they were calling.
Forced by the media?
The media showed up with guns. They were like, "You're gonna publish your photo, lady. Otherwise..."
How did they know about the photo?
they have their ways. They have spies all over
like
Champlain.
The Walgreens photo in an hour, or whatever it is, thing. Like, take a picture of the picture and like send it to the press.
Yeah, they developed an extra copy. Now we're half the chat isn't going to know what developing an extra copy at the Walgreens even means. So back in the day, when you took a picture, you had to bring it to the Walgreens to have it develop before you could actually see what was on it. That's a thing.
Well, I haven't seen it.
Sure, right.
So I was forced to, and that's why I put a copyright on so that I could have some control and some protection as to who's going to use it.
Right. Smart. Good move. Now, people have asked me, they say, hey, if there's so many of these creatures, why don't we get more pictures?
No. What they should be saying is, why don't we get bodies?
And I ask them the question. I'll say, have you ever seen a car wreck?
Yes.
Sure. I'll say, give me a picture of one as it happens.
Yeah, but the car wreck leaves behind physical evidence, Kent. There's a physical car wreck you can go look at and say, hey, look, that's a car wreck. If there were no pictures of these living lake monsters, but there were carcasses all over the place, no one would be saying they didn't exist. That's the analogy. Your analogy is actually a good one, Kent. You just don't know how to use it. Oh my god. Alright, no, I can't keep... I have to get some more alcohol. This isn't... Nope. Nope. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna get more coffee. I'll be right back.
Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna put up, I don't know, something... Well, watch the intro again.
You found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Black coffee, pretty good.
Okay, and I'm back with some alcohol because that Kent Hovind's analogies make me drink. That's basically what's going on there. Sorry, everybody.
You never see a picture of a car wreck as it happens, and yet thousands of car wrecks happen. So it's when it's something it's fleeting, it lasts a few seconds, you don't think of taking a picture until it's too late. Well, maybe.
I mean, there's lots of Russian dash cam footage of car wrecks, but whatever.
If you could keep me posted, send me information if you get any more people, because people probably come to you all the time, don't they, and say,
Yes.
I saw it.
Yes.
I would like to keep a file of that. Just send me a list.
Absolutely.
Whew, I need to stir this a little bit. I'm just getting a straight
On
rum.
the wall. And
What's wrong with
something about
that?
the old gentleman
It's a little-
looked at it.
I was standing here at the counter, and an older gentleman came in, and he's staring at the picture, and he's staring, and he asked me what it was, and I told him it was change
Wait, is this a different interview with the same woman?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
on Lake Champlain. And he went on to tell me that he had never told a soul this, and he was in his 80s. I think he said he was 89 or 87. And he told me about when he was a young man, and he went fishing with his grandfather up in Lake Champlain, up by...
Is someone tapping on the mic?
It's not me.
I don't even know if like you guys can hear it because I have a little bit of
I
a
can
filter on the. Well, I have a little bit of filter on my my computer audio, and I don't even know if it's active. But like on my end, I keep hearing this low thud, like someone's tapping on the camera mic because they're obviously using just a straight to VHS camcorder with a camera mic, which is. Kent had enough money to build a stupid theme park. He had enough money for good camera equipment.
the Bullaga Bay, that area up by Tide.
He grew up on the lake.
Yeah, he grew up on the lake.
Okay.
He told me of a time that he and his grandfather were out fishing, and this monstrous big thing, he said, came out of the water. And his grandfather told him that it was Champ.
Okay, so some dude's so this lady was told by some dude that his grandfather told him that he had seen Champ. So we're now getting a third-hand story. And now Kent Hovind is presenting it to us, so it's basically a fourth-hand story. Okay, sure, that doesn't sound like an urban legend.
And that he wasn't to tell anybody due to the fact that they would think that they were insane.
Oh, Ben, did I ever tell you about the time that my cousin's grandfather on her other side was out with her grandmother on a date back in the 50s, and she thought she heard someone scratching on the car, and then he was like, nah, it's nothing, and they drove away, but then later when he got out of the car after he dropped her off at home and gave her a goodnight kiss, he found a hook, and there was reports about an escaped lunatic from the insane asylum with a hook for a hand.
What?
I know, it's totally true.
That
Or
has to be true.
Or
Another option.
right, or it could just be some story that people made up. I mean, you know.
And so
That was a very
all those
specific
years, he
example
never
you
told.
gave. Is that something someone actually told you?
It's actually an urban legend that was pretty popular in the late 80s to mid 90s.
It must have been true.
Obviously.
A soul about it. I was the first person he told, and he said to me, I was not insane. My grandfather was not insane. We saw a living, breathing.
They're not
Oh.
insane. Oh.
TD Lane makes a good point. To be fair, dash cams weren't a thing when this was made, and yeah, that's probably true. So, okay, fair enough. I really do try to be as fair as I can to Kent, which still makes him come off really poorly, but whatever.
Right.
And I was like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yes.
More and more testimony.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hallelujah.
Oh, wait,
Now, other people
aren't
see,
dash cams a thing now, though?
They are, but Kent wouldn't
And we-
have known
And we
that.
can, yeah, but now we can see car accidents from dash cams and that kind of thing. And
But do they?
there's cameras everywhere. Everyone's got one of these. How come I don't see more dinosaur?
Well, it's actually one of the interesting things. As the availability of high quality cameras has become more ubiquitous, sighting. Oh, excuse me, I won't burp there. Sightings of things like the Loch Ness Monster, Champy, Bigfoot, swamp apes, all of these things have kind of declined, which reminds me.
But shouldn't it go up since they're all over the place?
Yeah, well, you'd think. But that does actually remind me, if one of my mods could find the link for Erica's Halloween special from last year about cryptid primates, put that in the chat because it's a really fun video. And it relates to the whole cryptozoology thing, because like me, Erica likes to follow some of the, and it's got Sick Gibbon on YouTube, by the way. She likes to follow some of the cryptozoology stuff because it's fun, not because it should be taken seriously. So, yeah, that's a really fun video. So, yeah, if one of my mods could find that, put a link to that, because after we finish with that, you guys should watch that Halloween special. It's the 5 spookiest primate cryptids or something like that.
it and they come to you and say, hey, you know.
Yes, and I appreciate that because it gives me an indication, you know.
Right.
I'm not crazy. I'm not pre-bad yet. This is
Look, I'm not saying she's crazy, but people telling you that you saw a thing and you seeing a thing that doesn't actually sound like a real thing isn't evidence for the thing, ultimately.
I mean, I'm sure she saw something, but
Well, sure, but it's sort of like...
it's just not what she thinks it was.
It's sort of like this. Let's say I call the police and I say that I saw someone down the street at the corner, and I was about to say what corner, but that would tell you way too much about where I live. But like this corner, and we'll just say like 2nd Street and 3rd Avenue or something, right? I saw someone get shot and left for dead on the sidewalk. Then they go there and there's no body, there's no evidence of blood, there's no one else says they saw the thing, or even other people say they saw the thing, but there's no body, there's no physical evidence. No one is reported missing. Is there going to be a crime? Is anyone going to be charged with a crime? There might be an investigation, but is there going to be actual murder charges anywhere?
Nah.
No, even if I name a person who I said I saw shot the person, what are they going to do?
What can they do?
You don't even have a victim. And that's basically what she's saying, is I saw a thing, okay, but that's not enough in itself. And look, I would love for there to be a giant monster in Lake Champlain because that would be so freaking cool. But until there's evidence, there probably isn't one.
what I saw. This is what they saw, and we all saw something. And what? Someday maybe the lake will give up her secret. Who knows?
Oh, and thank you. So Maya put that in the chat. Top 5 spooky primate cryptids. Yes, everyone, open that in a new tab and wait and save that for later because it is a really fun video.
How did I know Maya would be the one to find the link?
Oh,
She's
because
awesome.
Yeah, Maya's the best. And did Dapper just say he lives in Compton? I don't actually. I have said that I live in Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
That's right where you live.
Exactly. That's how I managed to meet Bill Ludlow in person because Bill volunteered in Mesa, which is the next town over, basically.
But let's not kill it.
Don't kill it, no. Great. So thank you so much. You got customers here. We better let you go.
Oh,
Lee Smith.
this might be a different thing. What is this? What are we looking at? We're looking at is this snow? Is it water? What's going on? Can you see what's happening?
This is footage from before video cameras were a thing. It's just some guy remembering it, and we're seeing what's coming from the memory. I don't know. It's yeah.
What am I supposed to be seeing?
It's got to be a lake.
I mean, I agree it's a lake because it looks like there's a landscape in the background, like you can see.
And there's like a reflection of it.
Yeah, like okay, it's a lake, but like, what is this evidence of? It's just a mess of white pixels.
If you look at the big white in them, eventually you'll see a dinosaur that you can't actually see because it's not there.
Okay.
Just keep watching.
Okay.
There. Oh no.
God darn, some white thing coming out of it.
Oh, I almost saw not white.
There's a white thing in the big white thing. This is really making all the smudges in my monitor stand out.
Oh, yeah, it'll do that.
Is that it, or is that like some land?
I don't understand what we're supposed to be seeing.
Maybe it'll zoom in.
It was a shark.
No, it's not a shark.
What was a shark?
That right there.
There's nothing. I don't see
It's
anything.
right there.
It's gone.
It went under.
I think we just see Champ.
What's Champ?
Where?
Like Champlain monster.
I mean, they're saying they see it, but the camera's like moving all over the place. It's not trying to focus on one spot.
From Al Rubel, who, by the way, is a recent patron on Patreon. So if you're interested, if you really like this stuff, check out the Patreon link in the description. But he says, found footage, the Hovind Witch Project. That could be the title for the next episode. That's a possibility.
Anything's possible.
It's gone, Clayton. I shouldn't have looked at it with the binoculars so long. I should have got the camera.
You have the camera. I don't see anything.
It started way the heck out there.
Is that
buoy?
Is that
buoy when that sailboat went by?
They just said it's a buoy.
When I was looking at it with the binoculars, I thought it was just a log. It ran over, but it went right from that buoy all the way inland, went underneath.
So
right
they have
there.
it on camera without getting it on camera. Nice.
So I'll say this. Maybe there was something visible in this footage when Kent Hovind originally showed it, because obviously we're seeing like a third-hand copy that's been like copied through several different like versions of VHS and then like ripped to a DVD or copied to a DVD and then put up on YouTube. I know you don't think there's that possibility, but I'll just say it's possible.
They saw something. I don't think you can convince a kid to pretend like there's something there. I'm sure they saw something. And it was far away, and they couldn't tell what it was. So why not assume it's some dinosaur?
Oh.
Monster or whatever.
Luca's wasted enough. I'm still not sure if I'm wasted enough for this crap.
I'm wasted on coffee. Does that count?
It does. Maybe we should do. We should play a game after this. We could.
We'll see. Maybe.
We could stream it. We could simul stream it or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
So I see the buoy, I see the landscape. Why are you showing all of this nonsense footage, Kent? Who is this helping? Who is this for? I can't even see the date most of the time, but apparently it was taken in '88.
Yeah, that's August 31st.
This
That's
is a
the same
giant
day
squid.
she took her picture.
This is a giant squid, which is apparently evidence for dinosaurs? And the Bible? I don't even... okay.
Of the species Architeuthis
And
rex.
gloves. Orange gloves.
Orange gloves. Orange gloves, therefore young Earth creationism is true.
It came ashore on November the 22nd, 1979 in St. Brendan's on Collier's Island in Bonavista Bay, Newfoundland. It's an immature female. It is a small female, but it is a giant squid. I believe the giant squid reach an approximate maximum size of something like 150 feet.
Why is this here? Is Kent trying to say giant squids are dinosaurs?
I feel like he's saying these people saw something that you can't see, and then here's a giant squid, so maybe it was that, but it's not because it's a dinosaur?
If
Who
this
knows?
is 20 feet long, well
Who
then...
knows what this is about?
It's almost 8 times longer than this in overall length, and that's a big squid.
Yep. The following are various interviews with people who have seen strange creatures in the sea. I hope
there was a squid. I thought they were going to go somewhere with that. Nope.
No, just a squid. Yep. Hey guys, you ever see a giant squid? Well, here's one. I mean,
that's proof against him because it's something huge that people might mistake somehow for a dinosaur.
Here's something though: giant squid are way better than a lake with nothing in it. So there was
water in the lake.
Oh, there was water, but there were no dinosaurs. So I'll give him this. At least there was something to look at that was interesting with the giant squid, even if it had nothing to do with anything.
In 1976, just 30 miles off the Lizard in Cornwall, two fishermen, George Vinnican
I feel like this guy is not Kent Hovind because Kent Hovind doesn't speak with a British accent.
And John Cox also met a monster.
Well, it was steaming 30 miles off, 25 to 30 miles off. Saw what I thought was an upturned boat on the horizon.
So we went over to investigate. When we got closer, we could see it wasn't an upturned boat. It was something that, well, neither of us have seen before. So it was dark in color and had sort of humps on the back. I should say it was, well, between 15 and 18 feet in length. And rising above the sea about 3 feet. It was a flat, calm day. There was no disturbance on the sea at all.
When we got up closer, went a little closer, I came astern, to our amazement, up out the water about 3 feet from this body, head appeared out the water.
This guy said water wrong. He said water. That's not how you say it. You should take lessons from Kent Hovind. Everyone knows it's water. Water. Did you know, Ben, or Bent, sorry, Coppermag, yes. Check out coppermagma.com for free music.
Free music.
Yes. But, Ben, did you know that 1 drop of water will cover the whole Earth if you spread it short or small enough? Except that,
sure, why not?
Yeah, that's the factor of, like, what was it? I think it's a factor of 1 trillion off.
Yeah, why not? Who cares? It's just numbers.
Yeah.
Trillion's just a number.
Right.
How big can it be if I can say it in like a half a second?
Well, it's sort of like saying the distance from the Earth to the Moon is about a half a millimeter.
Yeah.
You know, it's
something like that.
Yeah, or like saying the average number of stars in a galaxy is less than 1.
Yeah. What's the big deal?
It's about the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was a thing I've never seen before after about 40 years of sea.
So logically, if Kent weighs the same as a duck, he's made of wood. Wood floats in water, therefore he's a witch. Oh, and thank you, Maya, for putting the link to coppermagma.com in the chat. Check that out. There's free music if you like sludge metal, or are we going with the other term that your bandmate came up with?
We are.
We are? Okay, so then if you like, apparently, slag metal, which is...
Slag metal.
Did you tell him that slag is a slang word for something?
He knows.
Okay, he knows. He just doesn't care.
But it's also a term for, like, unwanted metal scraps or something like that.
It's like the non-metal bearing part of metal ores that you dig out of the ground.
So it's like the residual or leftover, whatever.
Yeah, it's basically this.
Like we are with our heavy metal music.
Okay.
That's the idea behind it. I don't care. Who cares? But he wants a term that he wants to catch on. A new one, and I don't get it, but I don't care. So.
Hey, you're there to play music and have fun. So.
Yeah. Check us out on our Facebook. There's, I think, 2 videos from our show Wednesday night.
Nice.
It's a pretty great show. They didn't do the new song. I killed it on the solo, though, on that song. Man, I want to see the footage of that.
You killed it. Now there's going to be a police investigation.
They won't find the corpse, so...
Gradually sank in the water and disappeared. But after talking about it, the only thing we could explain it was very much like a prehistoric animal.
So it had humps and it was big is the only thing I got out of that. Why was it a whale? I don't know. Sure, why not?
Well, prehistoric, so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very old.
Yeah.
Like as old as you, maybe.
What's going on in here this morning? Teresa, how are you?
Oh, I've seen this SNL skit.
Is this from the late 70s? It feels like it is from the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're talking about the Ogopogo today. A lot of people in the area have seen it. The legend goes on for many years, and we'll be talking to some experts. I believe we've got Arlene Gall coming in. Arlene wrote a book on it.
That's right.
I feel like I should be singing a song in a high falsetto voice set to some, like, relatively rapid beats. Like, you know, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk, but in a high falsetto.
Okay, do it. Sing it.
I'm not
3,
going
2,
to.
1, go.
No, it's not going to happen.
But we're going to go to the phone lines right now. Line 2, good morning.
Hello there, Mr. Puglish.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
You want to know about Ogopogo?
I certainly do.
Yeah. Okay. I had a taxi and I took a passenger to the hospital and then I was coming down Abbott Street.
Well, that was
a reenactment.
I got far as about here. I looked.
So wait, was the whole radio thing fake too? Because I thought that was just a recording of an actual radio broadcast cut with stock footage of the broadcast studio.
It's a reenactment.
This is the worst.
This is actually happening live right now.
I hate everything about this right now.
To the lake, I was surprised, and I seen this thing come out of the water. Well, it's like a horse's head, with the kind of horns on it. Well,
Horses' heads don't have horns on them.
That's what you think. Ever heard of a unicorn?
Yeah, uni meaning one horn.
Ever hear
one
of
horn isn't horns.
Ever hear of a bicorn? Yeah, get wrecked.
Nah, I've never heard of that until now.
Well, now you have.
Standing up there, oh my, just like a...
It said, oh my, or he was saying, oh
like
my?
a big serp.
I think...
What does it matter? Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Keep going.
Then another fellow come behind
He's
me.
like smiling
says,
at the end, like, gotcha.
He says, I see no Gapogo over there. And he says, where? Over there. He says, I had the door open in the car.
Over there, oh.
How many eyewitnesses of almost certainly non-existent lake monsters does it take before young Earth creationism is true? That's what I want to know. What's the threshold before it becomes
How come
true?
they're all like old crazy people and not young crazy people?
That's a good question. I don't know.
And stepped out just a little bit, and we slipped back in the water, see? And he said, gee, look at the big waves there. And all we can see is big waves going down there to Fred's place where he had the boat rent.
Fred?
Oh, it went to Fred's place?
He's the guy who hung the phone back up and then took it back off.
Well, we can trust Fred.
And they disappeared, see? And then I got all excited. I got in the car and I pulled to the willow end. And I told the people, I says, they were having breakfast, I just seen Ogopogo. And they says, what the heck you been drinking, eh?
That's a good question. What were you drinking? Or smoking? Or snorting up your nose?
I want some of that stuff that
I
you're
know.
smoking. Sounds pretty awesome.
Line 4, go ahead, please.
Hello, John.
How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Good. Are you going to give me your name?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Tell me about the...
I saw Ogopogo.
So now it's an anonymous story. That's even more credible.
At least this sounds like a younger crazy person.
That's true.
4 years ago.
Okay, you don't want to give your name on the air.
No, I don't.
You've told some people, obviously.
Yes.
Are you afraid that they might think you're a little bit of a...
Well, I had some strange phone calls. And
I get them every day.
I kind of want to see if Kent comes back, and if not, I don't know that I want to keep doing these stupid interviews.
I get it, but this is kind of hilarious, so...
Alright, I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll count your vote as a vote for stay. We'll keep watching these for a while, but if you want to keep doing these, put 1 in the chat. If you want to try to skip ahead and see if there's some Kent, hit 2.
Hey, that's what they pay me for.
Well, I don't get paid for them, so I don't really want any more, thank you.
We were up on the beach having a picnic, and my daughter was on the swings when I saw this creature underneath the wharf there. And when I turned around...
Wait, Worf is in this movie? Like from Star Trek? She said there was a creature underneath the wharf.
Oh. Maybe this is where they invented Worf from.
No, we got a 2. So we got another 2. Oh, Luca wants to stay though. So currently we're tied with stay.
Well, you don't have to count my vote.
No.
I don't care. We'll do what the chat wants to do.
We count your vote.
We're here for the
well.
chat, so we'll do what the chat wants to do. I don't care.
It's looking like 2 is winning pretty handily.
Let's go with 2.
All right, let's see what happens.
And saw it, and realized, and they
first got out and started.
Skipping ahead. Skipping.
It would have. And his head.
If the last like 20 minutes,
moving.
If the last 20 minutes of this is just random people spouting nonsense that aren't even Kent, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Yeah.
But it does mean that we'll just have to schedule Kent with Bent 15 at some point, because we've only been doing this for just over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this can be our second shortest episode, whatever. I mean, whatever.
We're gonna. Well,
From
if we did have
side
to
to
stop
side.
soon, we would try to do one really soon.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll talk about it off stream, but
we could even do. We could even try for like Wednesday or something. If
we'll talk about it off stream.
Yeah.
It seemed like
feet in length.
Oh,
I know it's here.
that was Kent. I saw Kent. So we're gonna see what happens after this purple guy stops talking.
It was some sort of a, we call it a monster fish.
1991. Put him in chronological order, Kent.
For lack of a
You
better
can't
word.
edit videotape. It's impossible.
That's true.
But it was approximately 30 to 35 feet in length, and its head was protruding out of the water, and you could see the flagell action of the tail and the waves going beyond it. And I took 2 pictures of it.
Well, you said it was roughly similar to this. What was different?
Similar to this.
That's the same toy that he had in the last interview. That was his toy. I thought that was her toy the whole time. He was bringing it to help get like some confirmation bias. Like he's leading the witness right now.
Does that look like this? Yeah, with the horse's head.
Yeah, he's actually leading the witness on these things. Oh wow, that's a nice little wrinkle there. Thanks, Kent. Thanks for showing that. I appreciate
he's
that.
trustworthy. He's wearing a suit.
Well, yeah.
And he's combed his hair, unlike some of me. I mean, I guess just me.
I mean, hair is gross anyway.
I know. I should grow feathers like you do.
I don't grow
Like you have
feathers either.
feathers?
No, I just have scales, like a normal person.
Like a normal person?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
I couldn't see these fins on the side because they were...
Because they were not there. Got it, yeah.
Right. He's going to say because they were under the water. Like, you don't know that because you didn't see them.
They were so far under the water, they were buried with all the other dead dinosaurs that died millions of years ago.
And this isn't a dinosaur either, so there's that,
yeah, whatever.
too.
Who cares? Dinosaur, schminosaur.
The fish that I saw, or whatever, they were
The
not...
YEC Donald Trump.
within
He's
sight.
like Michael Scott.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, he's like season 1 Michael Scott.
Yeah, he's the Michael Scott with no redeeming qualities.
Right. He's the Michael Scott that almost got the show canceled, basically. Because everyone hated him.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Scott in season 1 is the worst.
Well, except for Toby. Yeah.
No, he's worse than Toby in season 1, I think. But Toby got worse as the season went on, which is why he's a worse character overall. I know, I just spoke heresy.
I might just stop doing these kind of events if you don't take it back.
Okay, fine, I take it back.
Okay. I'll keep
But
doing
also,
it.
was Toby was barely in season 1, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a short season. There's only 6 episodes.
That's true.
The neck and like the upper part of the body.
This is Kent Hovind from Pensacola, Florida.
You've already introduced yourself, Kent. Cut this part out.
I'm here in Canada at the 100 Huntley Street program.
Canada.
Several years ago, I think 1994, when I was here on the program, I brought my book.
In case you didn't know, Canada is where the Canadians are from, so he's in Canada.
From Dr. Roy
So
Mack.
Kent paused the previous video from 1991, waited 3 years, and then started recording here.
I kind of like his tie, though. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like it.
I don't know. It's dinosaurs or something. Who knows?
I just like it's like a picture.
Giraffes? Who knows?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, but he's properly mic'd this time. That's nice because this is clearly not his set. That's the thing. He's not the one producing this.
A living dinosaur, and Cal, who's sitting here beside me, Bombay said, he said, well, I was in Africa and I saw something like that, a dinosaur. And I turned to this page 256.
You got that fire in there too, perfectly framed.
Oh, is that actually? Oh yeah, there is a fire. It was blocked by my mic, but yeah, that's a nice little fake log fire.
I wonder if Ryan started it.
Is this just going to turn into a bunch of talk about The Office?
I'm okay with that. I don't know about the chat.
Chat, if you haven't seen The Office, then you can't understand Bent or I almost at all.
Roy Mackle's book. And Cal, you said, hey, I saw one of those. Would you take just a few minutes and tell the folks what you saw and
Mine's on paper.
where you work and if they can get a hold of you for any questions and just describe what you saw.
Well, it was probably one of the most startling experiences I've ever had. It was about in.
That guy kind of looks like Colonel Sanders without
I know,
a mustache.
right? I was just gonna say. The other thing I was going to say is that guy might be old enough to have actually seen dinosaurs.
1963, I think. And I was on my way through the old roads of Kenya back to Nairobi to pick up a car. So I was taking this old Chevrolet that was almost too big for those roads, for the potholes, and I was going rather slow. And it was a hilly country near a place called Muhoroni. And that's down in the Rift Valley, but a hilly part of the Rift Valley. As we came up over the brow of the hill, my wife was with me. And suddenly laying there in front of us, right across the road, 7, 8, 9 feet long, was what I thought at first was a crocodile. And I thought, no, it can't be a crocodile. This is a dry part.
Oh, Tyler West asks a good question. Where is the Hawaiian shirt? Yeah, how do we know this is really Kent Hovind if he's not wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
It's probably in Hawaii.
Oh, where they just call them shirts?
Yeah.
Got it. It's like, you know what they call Brazil nuts in Brazil?
Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
The country. And then as
I call
looked
them,
at it,
keep them away from me because I'm allergic.
Well, don't go to Brazil.
I won't.
Slowed down, stopped the car actually, and stood and sat there for 10 minutes looking at this. And as I looked at it, I thought, this is, I mean, the actual word prehistoric went through my mind. I said, this can't be real. I've seen pictures like this.
You know, the same word went through my mind when I first saw this guy.
Well, you know what? As Duke Ellington says, Bent, don't be ageist. Old people have rights too.
It's true.
Yeah, Jan told us that.
I learned that from The Office because I didn't know there was an actual...
You know,
like,
ageism was a thing?
Something like that. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't know that there was like legislation passed to protect. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Who cares?
And what we're saying is The Office is an educational program. Go watch it.
Quite like this one. Anyway, from the tail right through to the back of its head.
I cannot hear anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we will try to fix that. So I'm going to stop screen sharing. Oh, that's annoying. Stop screen sharing. Start screen sharing with sound.
If it doesn't work this time, I'm going to have to hang up the Skype call and call back right away.
Well, if that happens, I'm going to go get myself a drink.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear it.
I don't
Yes.
know what to call them.
Awesome.
Ridges.
Ridges, like triangulars, perfect triangles, all the way from the tail.
Oh, okay. Apparently Monk Mayfair chimed in. Dapper Dino, actually in Brazil, Brazil nuts are called castanas do Pará, meaning chestnuts from Pará or something. You know what, Monk Mayfair? Way to ruin the joke. But I do appreciate that, although chances that I'll remember it, pretty low. But I do actually appreciate that, because that's cool.
For the head to the tail, and it was just laying squatted down on the road, seeming to sun. And so I looked at the thing for 10 minutes. I could shoot myself for not having my camera with me that day,
Right.
but I wish I had. But there it was, and I had never seen anything like it, and nor before nor since. And I've asked people. In fact, I went to the Natural Museum and said,
Why didn't they put the picture on screen? Because I still don't know what he's talking about. He saw something he says is prehistoric.
He didn't have his camera with him.
Well, there was a picture in that book that was a drawing. They could have at least shown that so that I would know what sort of thing we're
No,
talking
that's
about.
just lines on paper, though.
That's a good point. That's not science. That's lines on paper.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible.
So what he's describing is his religion that he saw.
Oh, because he believes it.
Because he believes it.
Okay.
have you ever seen anything or heard of anything in Kenya of this nature? And they said, no, there's nothing like that alive today. I said, I saw something. And I argued with them really rather intently for a while. And
Yeah, obviously this guy is totally right, and the people who have lived there their whole lives, they don't know what's going on. But this guy saw a thing. You can trust him because of reasons.
they said, well, it must have been a figment of your imagination. Well, my wife and I both saw it. And we asked for several years, we asked anybody if they'd ever seen anything like that. Nobody had, nor have I since. But there it was, laying on the road. After about 10 minutes, it stood up, not quite as high as this drawing, but...
that drawing is a tiny drawing.
Just kind of wandered off into a very dry,
I mean, it
dry
fits in
part
a
of the
book.
country, bushy a little bit, not much greenery. It was a dry time of the year. And it just took off. And Mary and I just kind of looked at each other in wonder, saying, what in the world is this thing?
What color was it?
It was kind of dusty gray.
Okay.
He's
Could you see
looking
the
up.
eyes?
That means
Yeah.
he's lying
They'd
or
blink.
making
In
it
fact,
up.
it turned its
Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
I think it's
Maybe it means he's
looking
remembering.
to the left means I don't know.
I don't know.
head and looked at us. You know, it didn't seem to be afraid of us.
Could you tell from the pupil of the eyeball, was it slotted or round? Or couldn't you see that? Not that close?
I don't think I was close enough to see that.
Was the shape of the snout like a crocodile?
It was like a horse.
More like a crocodile than a...
No, it was a crocodile bent, which apparently is also like a horse, maybe? I don't know.
Well, we'll find out soon.
Than a hippo, say.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
It had a long face. Now, some of the African people I asked, they said, oh, that was a monitor lizard. Well, I said, impossible. I've seen many monitor lizards. I've never seen one 9 feet long.
That's because you've never been to Komodo.
Right.
Never as long as that. And I've actually killed a couple of monitor lizards with my
Length
car.
of monitor lizard, 8.5 feet. But that says Komodo dragon. Is that the same thing?
Well, Komodo dragons are a species of monitor lizard, but I don't think they live in Kenya. Because they live in Komodo, which is the name of an island in the South Pacific.
This map shows monitor lizards in virtually all of Africa.
Right, but I don't know that they're 9 foot or 8.5 foot long.
Look, Wikipedia can't lie.
That's true. Anyone can put anything they want on Wikipedia, which means you know you're getting the best information.
So you know you're getting the best information.
That's true.
And they're smooth-skinned and no ridges in the back. I know a monitor lizard when I see one. This was not a monitor lizard. This had those ridges down its back.
Could you tell if it had smooth skin or scales?
It looked kind of bumpy, more like an alligator.
Right, okay.
On the sides. I don't think it had scales.
Okay.
I can't really be sure.
All right, well.
It's been a lot of years ago. This is 1997.
I understand. Well, I've been saying for years there's a few dinosaurs still alive, and your first thought in your mind was something prehistoric, huh?
Well, of course, I have been preconditioned by all the education that I'd had up till that time that these things don't exist.
Whatever it is, it can't be a dinosaur. That's the first thought most people have.
Well, I considered it had to be some kind of a lizard.
Sure.
And because, you know, you have lizards from this size, of the little gecko lizards, right up to monitor lizards.
All right, now you work here at 100 Huntley Street, and what's the phone number here? So if they have any questions, they can call and ask for Cal Bombay.
My phone
Okay, everyone write this down and call the number.
number is area code 905-335-7100, extension 3206.
All right, well.
Is that the same as 1-800-CALL-KFC?
I don't think so, but I actually kind of do want someone to call. Don't actually call. I'm not encouraging people to harass people.
I encourage everyone to call without harassing.
All right, fine. Do what you want.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
But don't harass.
If you don't believe it,
I saw it. I mean,
Call up and ask
still
him.
alive.
When I saw this picture...
Why would you call? If you call him, he'll just say, yeah, I saw it.
Well,
he just said that now. Like, what is that?
No, the chances are he's going to say nothing because I'm like 80% sure this guy's dead.
He died of old age like 85, 90 years ago.
Well, I mean, this whole thing was probably only about 30 years ago, but sure.
Well, he said it's 1997, so this was in 1997.
He said it was 97?
That's what the guy said.
All right. Well, maybe he's still alive.
Sure. I thought that's what
I don't think he still works there, though, yeah.
What I saw. I mean...
All right, let's get him to zoom in on this picture if you can real quick, and we'll close out with that.
Oh, you should have started with that.
Give us a call.
Gonna zoom? No? No zooming?
You let us know. We'll be glad to
what? What is that?
Pull up a monitor lizard.
Yeah, I can pull up a monitor lizard. Give me a second. Images. Let's get a good walking monitor lizard. Ooh, that's a pretty one.
So I am not at all an expert in any of this, but to me it looks the same except for the spikes on the back.
Right. Yeah, it's... And the thing is, not knowing what that thing is in the book, I can't really say if the spikes on the back are actually supposed to be accurate or not.
But I do see one image here of something that does have spikes. It's just on the neck, and they're not very big.
So, I mean, yeah, the spikes are a bit inconsistent, but like, monitor lizard seems like a pretty decent explanation.
Our videotape on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. So that's what you saw that day, 1962.
That's as close as anything I've
Is
ever
that a
seen.
hand-drawn picture of the dream the guy just had? That's great, Maya.
Thanks, Maya.
Hey, I had a dream. Can I be interviewed by Ken?
Well, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the time, and God bless
You're
you.
welcome, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Before we continue with this, I am going to grab a drink because forget all this stuff. Even as drunk as I am, I need to be drunker. But while I'm gone, we're going to listen to some music that you can go listen to for free.
Yeah! I love music for free. Music! Why was there a hole in the middle of Africa? Duh. Because Kent's not does that? I don't know. He'll probably explain. That's the lake where all the dinosaurs are. How long does it take to get another drink? This is like a 2.5 minute song. This is the first song the band wrote ever, before I joined. And for anyone who cares, this song is pretty much a ripoff of Dodo's. I think it's Dodo's Lament by Purcell, classical musician from a long time ago. Because our bass player and singer is a brilliant piano player who got a degree in music before he changed careers and started doing this kind of music.
All right, that was a nice song, and it lasted exactly long enough.
Next song.
Oh, is it playing the next song?
Oh,
yeah, it is. Whoopsies. That's all right. You can listen to the next song on your own, but we're going to continue with the stream. How'd you like that music, Bent?
I like it a lot.
Yeah? I feel like the guitar was especially good.
Actually, you know how it is when you make your own art, music, or whatever, and you're like, you notice your mistakes that you didn't do well on. That song, I have a lot of mistakes I made on my guitar part.
Oh, well.
I don't even care anymore, but like.
You didn't have to tell anyone that.
It's the same, every song I've ever done, I always like, oh, I wish I would have done this guitar part a little better here or there or whatever, but like, no one, even other people in the band don't notice, so.
Well, in case anyone wasn't clear, that was a song from Copper Magma. That was a lament. So, go.
And then I also linked a Facebook video of half of a song that we did at the show the other day.
Awesome.
And you can see me way on the left, playing guitar.
So yeah, check out coppermagma.com for more of Ben's music.
Download it for free.
Free.
Or just play it, or just don't do it.
Yeah, do whatever you want, but do it.
What you're about to hear is...
Sorry, what were you saying?
I said, bye, Vesta. People are asking about why there's a lake in the middle of Africa, so...
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the swamp he's talking about, but I don't know.
Audio tape made of, apparently, the roaring of the creature in the Congo swamp, the native...
Ooh, the roaring!
It's called Mokele Mbembe, which would be one of the few living dinosaurs. The sound...
I feel like Ken should be whispering, because this almost feels like ASMR. But I guess this was made before ASMR was a thing.
Kent invented ASMR?
Kent Hovind ASMR. Oh, no one tell Kent Hovind about ASMR because he might jump on the bandwagon, and I don't want that to be a thing that exists.
If he asks about it, just bring up the Casimir effect.
Do I think Eric Hovind ever got in trouble for listening to rock music? Maybe. Yeah, there's a chance.
Appears to have a flapping or slapping sound near the end of each roar. Some have speculated that this may be similar to the gecko lizard that makes a little roaring sound, and then the flap of skin under its throat slaps back against the throat, making the slapping sound. That's the best so far we have on this. If you hear any more, please let me know. Hope you enjoy it.
This is just a pile of nonsense. Does no one know how to eliminate noise from a recording? What is this? Oh my goodness. From YouTube Surgeon General, Kent can defeat a 4-hour Viagra overdose. Are you saying that Kent Hovind is a non-surgical treatment for priapism? Because that's what I'm hearing.
Kent got audio from Guar? Maybe Guar got it from this.
I hope you've enjoyed this video series on creation.
I guess that's it. Now Kent's going to tell us to go pray for forgiveness.
End strong, Kent.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to end on, is this horrible nonsense noise. Oh my goodness, I didn't even have to go get the drink.
Nail in the coffin.
I could have just not got that drink and just had it later. I guess I didn't know how far in we were. But, Ben, we've been through 3 of these seminars. How does that feel?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, Bent.
Oh.
Bent.
It feels okay, I guess.
All right, well, this one is
the
only...
The fact that we've got a million more to go...
4.
4? That's it?
Yeah, there's only 7 of these.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're actually...
Well, video number 6 and video number 7 are the ones he mentions the most, so...
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But, yeah, we've done pretty well, I think.
Yeah?
Oh, you guys should see my desktop.
Well, no, because we've only done like 2 in the last 6 weeks. We gotta do more.
Okay, yeah, we gotta do some more often.
But besides that, yeah, we've done great.
Well, we could do something not this Sunday, but next Sunday if you want.
We'll talk about it off stream.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off stream. So the next thing is you wanna do any video games we could stream? We could go to your channel, your Twitch, or my off topic or something. Because we've only been on for an hour and a half, and I feel like we're not giving the people what they want.
You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
Is watch you stream some Kerbal Space Program.
You know what? I think that could be a thing that happens.
Mm-hmm. While I play some Lego Star Wars off stream.
Are you gonna be on Discord or just in the chat? Or
I'll be on Discord.
Okay, we can be on Discord together.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the Dapper Dino Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, do people get to hear us on that?
Well, I'll stream that. I'll stream the audio from that. Right.
Yeah,
so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. If any of my mods can put the link to my Top Hats Off channel, that would be nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the patron Discord. So if you have voice permission in that, you can come and talk to us. If you don't, then you can chat in the chat. But we're going to take a break now. We're going to go probably... You want to start at 8 our time, or do you want to just...
whenever you want to start is fine.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to take a half-hour break. And then at the top of the hour, I'm going to be on Top Hats Off, streaming some Kerbal Space Program. And yeah... And I realize that some of my viewers are in Europe, and that's not really realistic. But anyway, if any of my mods...
But it's going to be on YouTube. You can watch the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so if any of my mods could please link that in the chat for Top Hats Off. We will talk about when the next Kent with Bent will be. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So, talk to y'all later. Thank you for watching. I'm the Dapper Dinosaur.
And I'm Kent Hovind, no relation.